What is up, everyone? It is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. And like I say in every reading wrap-up video, the year is going by so quick. I am literally astounded. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I read in the month of May, going through and giving short summaries and my review and recommendations of these books. So let's just hop right into it. So the first book that I read in the month of May was My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. So this story is about a 15-year-old girl who gets groomed by her high school teacher and then is in a relationship with her high school teacher as a 15-year-old student. And then the story flashes forward 17 years later, and this woman is now grown up, but she is still working through and dealing with the consequences of being groomed and assaulted as a teenager. So for this book, definitely look up the trigger warnings, but I would give this novel 5 out of 5 stars. It is something that has kept in my mind throughout this month. Even though this was the first book I read, I still think about it, and themes and ideas from this book have come up, and I've seen them like in TV shows or in other books or in real life. Like, there are definitely a lot of real life parallels, even though this book is fiction. It's a really powerful read that I have not been able to stop thinking about throughout this month, so I definitely recommend it. Next up, we got some YA. I read The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, and so this is the same author from the To All the Boys I Loved Before series, which you may have watched the movie adaptations on Netflix, where this trilogy, The Summer I Turned Pretty, is turning into a TV show on Amazon Prime, so I wanted to check out the book first. And so this story is about a teenage girl who goes to this beach house to vacation with her mom's best friend, who has 2 sons who are also teens around the same age. So you know how that becomes. It's a typical summer romance, summer fling, love triangle, all of that jazz. So I would give this book a 2 out of 5 stars. It sort of felt like not a lot of plot was happening. It was just a lot of will they, won't they, oh, potential love interest. I also had rented the second and third books of this trilogy from the library, which I ended up not reading after reading the first book in this series, but maybe I'll check out the TV show adaptation and see if that is any good. Next up, I read You've Reached Sam by Dustin Tao. This is also a YA romance where 2 teenagers, the girl main character and boy main character, they're dating, they're in love, but the boy main character gets into a car accident at the beginning of the novel and sadly passes away. Through this grieving process, the girl main character actually calls up the boy's cell phone and he answers the phone. So I would give this a 3.5 stars. It was a cute, heartwarming, sad read. Literally the last few pages of the book, I was like, oh my gosh, this is really sad. I was starting to tear up. However, the main character girl definitely has main character syndrome, thinking that the world revolves around her, not thinking how her boyfriend's death has impacted his other friends, his family, his younger brother, his parents, but that can be a realistic reaction to going through such a tragedy like this as such a young person. Next up, I read The Deeper the Water, the Uglier the Fish by Katya Apakina. So this story is about 2 teen sisters, one who is 16 and one who is 14. Their mom has been sent to live at a psychiatric hospital, so these 2 sisters are sent to live with their dad in New York. They don't really know their dad. Their parents separated when they're really little. They don't have any communication with their dad, so it's sort of like moving in with a stranger even though this person is their father. I would look up the trigger warnings for this book, so I would give this book also a 3.5 stars. I think for me, the writing style of this novel sort of was confusing to me. It was hard for me to tell what was happening at all points in time, and the whole book, it was really sad, tragic, and very disturbing. Next up, we've got Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. So this novel is about a 32-year-old real estate agent who gets kidnapped at one of her open houses. She is then kept in captivity for an entire year before she is able to escape, trying to solve the mystery around who was this kidnapper and why did they take this lady. So I would give this a 4.5 stars. It was definitely an interesting read that I read super quickly. I really wanted to know what was going to happen. It had some twists and turns in there as well. The writing style is written solely as the main character talking with her new psychiatrist, so you're getting that first-person account the entire time, which was an interesting way to write this story. Next up, we've got False Witness by Karen Slaughter. This novel also follows two sisters from when they were teenagers to now, the present, when they're both adults. Not to spoil anything, so I'll talk very vague here, but when these two sisters were teens, a lot of bad things happened. So one of these sisters is now a lawyer, and she gets a client who she actually knows from her past. So I would give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely a really interesting read, but it is a thick one. I felt like this story was sort of long in some parts, which made it sort of drag on. So I felt like it just dragged at some points. Next up for a DNF, we have The Candy House by Jennifer Egan. I am 82 pages in and I don't know, I just could not finish this. So I'm really sad about that though, because this book has so many great reviews. Everyone is talking about it. So let me know if you've read this. Should I pick it up again? Should I re-rent this from the library? Because just right now, I think I'm going to return it. Next up, I read Good Neighbors by Sarah Langen. This book follows a new family who moves into this tight-knit neighborhood, and then when one of the neighborhood kids falls into a sinkhole in the middle of the neighborhood and disappears, a lot of rumors start to spread, creating lies, potential falsehoods about this new family that just moved into the neighborhood. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. It really delves into this neighborhood dynamics, accusing your neighbors of something, whether it's true or false accusations, and how this little girl's disappearance really impacts the entire neighborhood. And last up for books that I read in May is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. So this story follows a husband and wife. However, the husband is cheating on his wife with another woman who then turns up murdered in the couple's lake house. So all eyes are on the husband for killing the other woman, and the wife, who is a prominent defense attorney, ends up taking her husband on as a client and defending him at trial. So I would give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely an interesting, twisted story. But for me, in these kind of like mystery books, I've mentioned it before in other videos, when it is a mystery, I would love to have clues sprinkled throughout the book rather than like in this book, the last 10 pages wraps everything together. It tells you everything that happened, it wraps everything up. So yeah, those are the 8 books that I read in the month of May. A little bit of a slower reading month. The other months I was reading like 12 books a month. So this month is a little bit less because we've started to go back to work in person, and that has just made me extremely tired all of the time, that I don't even have the energy to want to pick up a book to read, which is sort of sad. So yeah, if you've read any of these books, definitely leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on them. Did you like them or dislike them? If you have any any book recommendations that I should check out for the month of June, also leave a comment down below. So thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. Thanks again, and I will see you all next time.